I grew up in a privileged household. I was incredibly fortunate, lucky. I didn't have to worry about food to be put on the table. I had a roof over my head. I had all those things going on. The only sort of slight difference in my story is that people think I'm heir to McVitie's and that I'm inheriting all these billions and millions, or my parents helped me get into retailers, that is not true. And as I say this, I know I'm going to be nailed for it. But, when we started Kittens, we started with £3,000, my business partner and I. Our parents didn't believe in the vision, because why the hell would you believe a 21 and 22-year-old that a sweet company's going to work? They were like, okay, go have fun, kids. And we had to sort of, like every business, we had to find ways to make money, to sell things, to market ourselves. The huge advantage we had over other businesses and other things was that I was on a television show, which, was a huge risk at the time because it was about being posh. And people either loved it or hated it. There was no real in between. And so straight away, if you create a product, like a confectionery product that you're going to eat, either people were going to love it or they were going to hate it. And even if it was the best thing out there and people still hated meat, they weren't going to buy it. So you're immediately alienating people away from you. But I am posh. I went to boarding school at the age of 8. I have a posh accent, but that's kind of who I am. And I think, do you know what? I think it's absolutely fine that people, target, myself in certain ways.
Do you really? At
the
beginning of this, you said, let's be totally honest.
Okay. Oh, God.
So let's just be totally honest.
What do I think? I think it's very easy to criticize kids or people who haven't worked a day and they've inherited a lot and they just swan through life and not giving a shit about politics or people or haven't experienced anything else. I think what people do forget maybe sometimes is that there's been in your family history, there's been someone who's worked their socks off to get to a certain place. And, someone, my family were part of McVitie's, and my great-great-grandfather, a guy called Alexander Grant, it was an amazing entrepreneur businessman. Alexander Grant, he would get on the sleeper train from Scotland every single Sunday and get to the factory, the McVitie's factory, on a Monday to greet everyone before it opened. And he would do that every single week because he just wanted to make sure that he was on the same level as everybody else. He fully believed that. He believed in equal rights for so long. He was an incredible, amazing guy. And he made, a small fortune. But the problem with making a small fortune many years ago is that generations spend it. And so then, I haven't inherited any money. I went to a great school, but loads of people go to great schools. I went on nice holidays and things like that. But in terms of inheriting wealth, I unfortunately don't inherit any of that wealth. So do you see how cagey I get?
Yeah, I find it very interesting because...
what are your thoughts on it? Give it to me.
My thoughts are that you shouldn't be ashamed of who you are or where you've come from.
Yes.
But you should also tell the story that removes the myth, right? So the myth is you've inherited money which you've spent to build your production company or to create Candy Kittens, and
Correct.
Therefore everything's been easy. So I would say everyone can teach us something. What can you teach us? Well, you can teach us what it's like growing up in a house where your parents are divorced, you've got 8 siblings, and you go to boarding school. How does that impact relationships? You can teach us actually how hard is it to set up a confectionery business in a world where there are huge confectionery companies already going. You can teach us what it's like to feel judged when you're on reality TV. You can teach us what it's like when you get a job on Radio 1 and everyone leans into the fact that you're privileged, which is the reason you got that job. And they give no credit at all to the hard work and the grind and the meetings and the conversations and the quest for personal improvement. That's where I think it's a shame for other people to judge rather than to listen.
Yeah, but I think what happens is, and this is where I do appreciate it, right, is that people unless you do a deep, we all are living our lives, right, every single time, all day, every day, and we all have our own boulders and our own problems and our own issues that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And I think because of social media and the way that just life is, I think we compare ourselves constantly to each other all the time. And it's super unhealthy. I heard this statistic recently, which is we should have this village mentality, right? So you probably know this. We should know like 150 to 200 people. And the problem with social media is that we wake up and we are connected to 1 million people. And out of our village mentality, we should have a USP, unique selling point. So the best at art or music or dancing or, I don't know, creating sweets, whatever it is. So it's unique to you. The problem with social media is that that all disappears, because if we're a comedian, we're seeing better comedians. Or if we're a builder, we're seeing better buildings being built. So we lose all of that. So we're constantly comparing.
You know, Huel has been a staple of my diet for some time, and I'm currently loving these Huel Daily A to Z vitamins. Tastes great, refreshing. Each can has 26 vitamins and minerals, offering 154 science-backed health benefits. Reduced tiredness and fatigue, normal cognitive function, healthy skin, hair and nails, and vitamin D for immunity. This is a vitamin drink that offers everything you could need it to. So what are you waiting for? Grab it right now in Tesco stores nationwide or at huel.com and let me know what you think.
I would definitely think that if I had an outside perspective of myself, seeing a guy who's just done a reality show, he was on Made in Chelsea, and then going from there, and that's what I saw him doing, and I didn't really know much about him, and then I saw him suddenly getting a Radio 1 job, I would just think, what a little prick. Like, I would probably think that as well.
Yeah.
So I totally get it at the same time. It's because, why we're not that we're interested in people who, man, we're interested in Shackleton. You know what I mean? We're interested in Churchill. Like that, that's who we're interested in. Are we interested in the guy who has done, this and that? Not really, and so it's quite hard. So articles go out, me doing it, and of course you get backlash because people only see an outside spectrum. And I don't expect everyone to deep dive into what I've done or what I've created or anything like that. And why should they? They have their own lives. So when I get the backlash and the criticism, I'm totally accepting of it. Firstly, because I did a reality show where you got that anyway. But secondly, because I put myself in their shoes and I go, yeah, I'd probably feel the same way if I was in their position or someone else's position, just seeing that. I go, yeah, that's annoying. Like, he did a reality show, now he's doing Radio 1. Lucky idiot.
Does it still hurt though?
Does it still? No, because why doesn't it hurt?
Let me remind you we're being honest in this conversation.
It doesn't hurt. Okay. Does it hurt? Does it hurt? Not really. Honestly, not really. Because I think I am confident enough in myself now to know that there was a lot of luck, but it wasn't just luck. That I have worked hard, and I'm sort of, again, that cheesy one, I'm pretty proud of myself, of what I've done and I've grafted. With Radio 1, I went for an audition 8 years ago, and just slowly by slowly was just working it all the time and learning the craft and understanding how it works and all those things. And, with Candy Kittens and Jampot, again, we've built that brand. Candy Kittens is 13 years old. We built it for 13 years, and so I'm proud of I'm comfortable with what I've done and where I am. So it doesn't hurt, no. And actually, I think it's important to have critics, because if you don't have critics, then what you really fighting against. And actually, I think not most, but there's a huge majority of people who are successful in whatever area that be are probably fighting against something.